Good morning, girls. Today we are going to learn what is banker, what is customer, and the relationship between banker and customer. So, first, definition of a banker. The Banking Regulation Act 1949 does not define the term banker but defines what banking is. H.R. Hart, the banker is one who receives money, collects check and draws for customers with an obligations to honor the checks drawn by customers from time to time subject to availability of amounts in the account. Section 3 Act 1881 and Section 2 of Bills of Exchange Act 1882 state that the term banker includes person or corporation or a company acting as a banker. Now, who is customer? A person who buys goods or services from a shop or a business entity. A person you deal with as business entity. There is no statutory definition. A person, company, entity who has an account with a bank is a customer. There is no agreement as regards to the time period of the dealings. A casual transactions like encashment of a check does not entail a person to be customer. A customer is one who has an account with the bank and to whom the bank undertakes to extend business of banking. Banker and customer relationship. The relationship between a banker and customer depends on the types of transaction. These relationships confer certain rights and obligations both on the part of the banker and on the customer. Classification of relationship will be two types, that will be general relationship and special relationship. General relationship, creditor or debitor. Relationship between the customer having a deposit account and the banker. Depositor is the lender and the banker is the borrower. Depositor is the creditor and the banker is the debtor. The money handed over to the bank is the debt. The money once deposited in the bank becomes the money of the bank and it is prerogative of the bank to use that money as it deems fit. The depositor remains the creditor, the to an unsecured creditor. General relationship of debtor creditor. When the customer avails a loan or an advance, then his relationship with the banker undergoes a change to what it when he is deposit holder. Since the funds are lent to the customer, he becomes the borrower and the banker becomes the lender. The relation is the debtor creditor relation, the customer being a debtor and the banker a creditor. Banker as a trustee. As per Section 3 of Indian Trust Act 1882, a trust is an obligation annexed to the ownership of property and arising out of a confidence reposed in and accepted by the owner, or declared and accepted by him for the benefit of another or of another and the owner. Thus, trustee is the holder of property on behalf of a beneficiary. Bailey or bailiff relationship between customer and banker. Section 148 of Indian Contract Act 1872, a bailment is the delivery of goods by one person to another for some purpose upon a contract that they shall, when the purpose is accomplished, be returned or otherwise deposited of accounting to the directions of the person delivering them. The person delivering the goods is called the bailer. The person to whom they are delivered is called the bailee. Banks secure their advances by obtaining tangible securities. In some cases, physical possession of securities, goods, valuables, bonds, etc. are taken. Lessor or lessee. Section 105 of Transfer of Property Act 1882, a lease of immovable property is a transfer of a right to enjoy such property made for a certain time, express or implied, or in property, is consideration of a price paid or promised or of money, a share of crops, service, or any other thing of the value to be rendered periodically or on specified occasions to the transferor by the transferee, who accepts the transfer on such terms. Safe deposit lockers. Agent and principal. Section 182 of the Indian Contract Act 1872 defines an agent as a person employed to do any act for another or to represent another in dealings with a third person. The person for whom such as is done or who is so represented is called the principal. Banks collect checks, bills and makes payment to various authorities, rent, telephone bills, insurance premium, etc. on behalf of customers. As a custodian is a person who acts as a caretaker of something. Banks take legal responsibility for a customer's securities. While opening a demat account, bank becomes a custodian. Termination of relationship between a banker and a customer. The death, insolvency, lunacy of the customer closing the account, that is voluntary termination, liquidation of the company, the closing of the account by the bank after giving due notice, the completion of the contract or the specific transaction. Now, some duties of a banker. Duty to maintain secrecy, confidentiality of customer's account. Duty to honor checks drawn by customers on their accounts and collect a check bills on his behalf. Duty to pay bills etc. as per standing instructions of the customer. Duty to provide proper services. Duty to act as per the directions given by the customer. If directions are not given, the bankers has to act according to how he is expected act. Duty to submit periodical statements, that is informing customers of the state of the account. Articles, items kept should not be released to a third party without due to authorization by a customer. Rights of banker. Right of general line. Lien is the right of the creditor to retain the goods and securities owned by the debtor until the debt due from him is paid. It confers upon the creditor to retain the securities of the debtor. It does not confer the right to sell. There are two types of liens, general line and particular line. Section 171 of Indian Contract Act 1872 confers general lines or banks. Pledge. Section 172 of Indian Contract Act 1872, bailment of goods and securities for payment of a debt or performance. Right of set of the mutual claims of a debtor and a creditor are adjusted together and only the remainder amount due is payable. Right of appropriation. If the customer has more than one loan account, the customer can direct the repayment of the loan as credited into any other accounts. If there is no specific directions from the customers, the banker has the right to appropriate as per his choice. Right to charge interest. As a creditor, the banker has right to charge interest on the funds he lends as per the norms and as per the contract. A banker is the one who gets into debts or create debts. H.R. Hart, the banker is one who reserves money, collect a check and draft for customers with an obligation to honor the checks drawn by customers from time to time subject to availability of amounts in the account. Section 3 of Act 1881 and Section 2 Bill of Exchange Act 1882 state that the term banker includes person or corporation or a company acting as banker. Under Section 5 subsection 1 of Banking Regulation of 1949, a banking company is defined as any company which transacts banking business. Under Section 5 subsection 1b, banking business means accepting for the purpose of lending or investment deposits of money from the public repayable on demand or otherwise withdrawable by check, draft or otherwise. A person who buys goods or services from a shop or a business entity, a person you deal with is a business entity. There is no statutory definition. A person, company, entity who has an account with the bank is a customer. There is no anonymity as regards to the time period of dealings. A casual transaction like encashment of a check does not entail a person to be customer. The duration of association of the customer with the bank is of no essence. A customer is one who has an account with the bank and to whom the bank undertakes to extend business of banking. Relationship creditor-debtor. Relationship between the customer having a deposit account and the banker. Depositor is the lender and the banker is the borrower. Depositor is the creditor and banker is the debtor. The money handed over to the bank is a debt. The money once deposited in the bank becomes the money of the bank and it is prerogative of the bank to use that money as it deems fit. The depositor remains a creditor to an unsecured creditor. When the customer avails a loan or an advance, then his relationship with the banker undergoes a change to what is it when he is a depositor holder. Since the funds are lent to the customer, he becomes the borrower and the banker becomes the lender. The relationship is the debtor and the creditor relation, the customer being a debtor and in the bankers a creditor. If a customer keeps certain valuables or securities with the bank for safekeeping or deposits certain amount of money for a specific purpose, the banker, besides becoming a bailee, is also a trustee. The money or the securities so kept are not at the disposal of the bank. The banker cannot utilize those monies or securities as he desires, since the money does not belonging to him. Here, there is a delivery of goods or securities from one person to the other, which amounts to the bailment. As per Section 148 of Indian Contract Act 1872, the delivery of goods from one person to the another person for some purpose. Upon the contract, that goods will be returned when the purpose is accomplished. The customer is the bailer and the banker is the bailee. Now, principal agent. Banks provide ancillary services such as collection of checks, bills, etc. They also undertake to pay regularly the electricity bills, phone bills, etc. The relationship arising out of these ancillary services is of principal agent between the customer and the bank. The relationship ceases once the customer dies, becomes insolvent or becomes insolvent. The proceeds of the checks sent for the collection, which are in transit, not credited to the customer account or not the monies of the banker till such time as they are credited into the customer account. The bankers provide safe deposit lockers to the customers who hide them on lease basis. The relationship therefore is that of lessee and lessor. In certain banks, this relationship is termed as license, and licensor the bank lease out the space for the use of clients. The bank lease out the space for the use of clients. The bank is not responsible for any loss that arises to the lessee in this form of transaction except due to negligence of the bank. The customer is indemnifier and the bank is indemnified. A contract by which one party promises to save the other from loss caused to him by the conduct of the promisor himself or the conduct of any other person is called a contract of indemnity. Section 124. In the case of banking, the relationship happens in transactions of issue of duplicate demand draft, fixed deposit receipt, etc. The underlying point in these cases is that either party will compensate the other of any loss arising from the wrong excess payment. Obligations of the bank. Under Section 31 of Act 1881, the banker is obliged to make payment of the check with mandate property presented, provided there is a balance in the account. However, when a garnishee order is served on the banker may seek refuse under Order 21 of Code of Civil Procedure 1908, and the banker may not pay Code of Civil Procedure the check which such order is served. If a debtor fails to pay the debt to the creditor, the latter may approach a court of law to issue a garnishee order on the banks of his debtor. Obligations of the bank. Obligations to maintain secrecy. Section 13 of Banking Companies Act 1970 stipulates the banks to maintain secrecy of their customers' accounts and dealings with them. However, there are expectations. The expectations are when law requires, when the practices and usages among bankers warrants exchange of information. Now, some rights of banker. Rights of general line. Line is the right of the creditor to retain the goods and securities owned by the debtor until the debt due from him paid. It confers upon the creditor to retain the securities of the debtor. It does not confer the right to sell. There are two types of lines, general line and particular line. Section 171 of Indian Contract Act 1872, general line, particular line. Section 171 of Indian Contract Act 1872 confers general line and bankers. Banker line is to implied pledge. The person being the banker is bestowed with the right even to sell securities without the intervention of the court. Section 172 of Indian Contract Act 1872, bailment of goods or security for payment of a debt or performance. Rights of banker. Rights to set off. The mutual claims of a debtor and a creditor are adjusted together and only the remainder amount due is payable. Right of appropriation. If the customer has more than one loan account, the customer can direct the repayment of the loan as credit into any other account. If there is no specific directions from the customers, the banker has the right to appropriate as per his choice. Right to charge interest. As a creditor, the banker has right to charge interest on the funds he lends as per the norms and as per the contract. Bankers Books Evidence Act. Despite the fact of the banker has to remain secrecy, he has to disclose the accounts and on order from the court. Earlier, the books of accounts were required to be produced is court of law as evidence. However, and the advent of Bankers Books Evidence Act 1891, the banker can produce certified copies of the records of the accounts as evidence which are tenable as evidence in court of law. Special types of customers. Lunatics. Under Indian Contract Act, a contract with or by a lunatic is void. The reason being the lunatic being of unsound mind is not competent to comprehend a contract. If the banker, without knowing that the person is lunatic, opens as account and enters into a contract acting in good faith is protected. But when once he gets a notice of lunacy of a person, he should not entertain any contract, either existing or new. Special types of customers. Drunkards. Under Section 12 of Indian Contract Act 1872, sane man who is delirious from fever or who is drunk that cannot be understand the contract or form rational judgment cannot enter into contract while such delirium or drunkenness lasts. When a customer who is drunk presents a check across a counter, the payment must be witnessed. Minors. Any person under the age of 18 years is a minor. If a court appoints a guardian and the minor is below 18 years, the minority extends up to 21 years. A minor is not competent to enter into a contract and all the contracts entered into by him are void. The banker can open an account, but he has to be careful that the account will never be allowed to be overdrawn. The minor can be partner but cannot be held liable for the liabilities of the partnership. Now, partnership. Section 4 of the Indian Partnership Act 1932 defines partnership as the relationship subsisting between persons who have agreed to share the profits of a business carried on by all or any of them acting for all. While opening an account, the partnership letter should be signed by all the partners. The purpose of the business orders, names, and other details should be clearly obtained. The partnership letter and the deed should contain as regards to instructions pertaining to opening a bank account and the operations. In case of any internal dispute among partners, if any of them gives notices or stoppages of operations, then the account would only be operative by all partners jointly. Death of the partner dissolves the partnership. In order to determine the liability of deceased partner, the banker should close the account. Now, companies. Company is a legal entity and the information of the company is governed by Companies Act 1956. While opening an account on company's name, the banker has to ask for certified copies of memorandum and articles of association and certificate of incorporation, name of the directors, certificate of commencement of business, copy of resolution appointing the bank as company's bank, and the names of the persons authorized to operate that account along with the signatures. Death of authorized signatories does not demand the stopping of payment since the company is in existence. Now, trusts. According to Indian Trust Act 1882, Trust is an obligation annexed to the ownership of property arising out of confidence reposed in and accepted by the person for the benefit of other person. The person who reposes or declares confidence is called the author of the trust. The person who accepts the confidence is the trustee. The person whose benefit the confidence is accepted is a beneficiary. The instrument by which the trust is created is the trust deed. Bank has to study the trust deeds as regards to the opening and operations of the account. Hindu undivided family. Where a Hindu dies leaving a business, the business is passed on to the local heads. It becomes HUF property. The members of the family are called corporate, and eldest male child is the manager of the Karta. The Karta has the employed authority to avail loan and execute necessary documents. It binds all the members. The other member of the family are also required to sign the documents as the precautionary measure, even though legally they are bound by the actions of the Karta. Joint accounting holders. A joint accounting is an account opened by two or more persons. While opening an account, the account opening form should be signed by all the account holders. Instructions for opening an account may be any of the following: either or survivor, former or survivor, both jointly. Any of them can stop payment of the check issued by any both the joint account holder. The instructions for operations in the account will stand countermanded in case of insanity, insolvency, death of any of the joint holders, and that the operations in the account will be stopped. Principles of lending: safety, liquidity, profitable, purpose, diversification of risk, security. Safety. The repayment depends upon capacity to pay, willingness to pay, income generation. The three C's are character, capacity, and capital. The three R's are reliability, responsibility, and resources. Liquidity. 70% of the deposits are deposits repayable within 1 year, so the amount lent is to be available for repayment of deposits. Liquidity is the nature of the asset to get converted into cash. Profitability. In order to carry on the operations, to run the machinery of business, and at the end to earn something out of the business activity in return for the efforts put in, profit is aimed at. In view of various lending activities and variable obligations, a clear-cut path is advised, keeping in view the profit factor. Purpose. While lending, the purpose of the activity for which the loan is extended is to be given priority. Loans for undesirable and speculative purpose cannot be granted. While lending, the purpose of the activity for which the loan is extended is to be given priority. Loans for undesirable and speculative purposes cannot be granted. Diversification of risk. Should not lay all the eggs in one basket. The loan portfolio should be disturbed to different sectors, different geographical areas, and different spectrum of people. Security. Since the funds that are lent to public are the borrowed funds, and since they are to be paid on the demand for otherwise, the main priority of the bankers is the releasability of the funds lent in order to secure the funds. In case of any eventuality, certain precautions as regards to security are taken. They are keep in margin, releasability of security, adequacy of the security, and free from any encompassment. Credit cards. A credit card is basically a payment of mechanism which allows the holder of the card to make purchases without any immediate cash payment. The issuing bank makes payment to the merchant establishment. The credit is to extended by the merchant establishment on the guarantee of issuing bank. Service charges and interest are charged on the overdue balance to the card holder. Advantages of credit card. Purchase of goods up to the limit of card can be made. Has a period of interest. Free credit can draw cash to a limit from branches or ATM. Disadvantages of credit cards are tends to be spent more. Frauds due to loss of cards. Debit cards. In case of debit cards, The cardholder makes payments at later points of the time. In case of debit cards, the balance in the deposit account of the cardholder is a rundown. In case of debit cards, one's own money in his bank account is used. If the card is lost or stolen, the entire balance in the account is susceptible to be drawn.